Hi, Rod here. I hope you're doing incredibly well. Today, I want to talk to you about why prospects don't buy. For example, we've all heard those disconcerting words, "Let me think about it." But what do those words really mean? Because I discovered that they don't mean what I thought they meant. And here's how that happened. A while back, I came across a simple buyer psychology framework in a Facebook group that I belong to. And when I studied it, it really put me into the shoes of a prospect and helped me better imagine what they must be thinking during a sales call. And that led me to anticipate and provide a remedy for excuses and objections and stalls before the prospects even raised them. And that in turn improved my chances of me selling my services. So if you understand the psychology behind why prospects don't buy, you can get the same results that I did. Here's the model. I call it the prospect analyzer. The vertical axis is trust and believability in you. Does the prospect believe that you can do the work? Now, trust and believability, they're a function of our authority. Do we have specialized knowledge? Are we known for that expertise? Have we been recognized for it? The second axis, the horizontal axis here, is urgency or level of need by the prospect. When does the prospect need the work done? Is there a trial next month? Or is the estate tax return due in 6 or 9 months? Now, urgency and need, they're a function of when or where we come in contact with the prospect during their buying process. And the combinations between trust and urgency, between believability and need, they create a classic 2x2 matrix with 4 possible quadrants. Let's get into each one of these boxes so that you can see where a prospect's excuse, objection, or stall can arise. The first box is skepticism, low believability, low urgency. And this is most likely lead to rejection. If a prospect doesn't believe that we can do the work and there's no urgency to get the work done, then there's little likelihood that we're going to be able to sell our services to a prospect who is in this box. The second box is skepticism, still low believability, but more urgency or need on the prospect's part. Here, the prospect does have an urgency, does it have a need to get the work done, but they're unwilling to commit because they're not sure that we have the necessary expertise or the ability to solve their specific problem. So again, not a high likelihood, some likelihood, but not a high likelihood that we're going to sell our services to a prospect in this box. The third box is complacency. High believability that we can do the work, but low urgency or need to get the work done. So the good news is the prospect believes that we can do the work. The bad news is there's just no urgency to get the work done. And there's nothing that's probably going to motivate them to take action. So once again, not a high likelihood that we're going to be able to sell our services to a prospect who lives in this box. As you can imagine, the fourth box is a good box. I call it enthusiasm, high believability that we can do the work, high urgency or need to get the work done. To a prospect in this box, there's a high likelihood that we're going to be able to sell our services. So here, the stars have aligned. So when a prospect says, "Let me think about it," they are in the indifference, skepticism, or complacency box. and it's our job to figure out which one. We need to ask some probing questions to coax out what the real problem or what the real issue is that the prospect has. And when we provide answers to those questions, it's possible to move the prospect up the believability axis and or to the right on the need axis and increase or improve the likelihood that we're going to be able to sell our services to that prospect. Here's another thing that I learned, that a rejection for any reason doesn't necessarily mean no, it just may mean not yet. And so we need to nurture those not yets in our CRM system so that over time a no becomes a yes as we consistently communicate with the prospect and use those opportunities to create value and build rapport. That's what I have for you today. I hope it's been useful. If you want more help turning the practice you have into the practice you want, message me with the word prospect and we'll work on a plan for you.